What's going on, big homies? This is your boy Malcolm. Come back to you live with some more anime news, thoughts, and impressions. On this impression, we're going to talk about what is Shoujo Anime for our new anime fans that's just getting started in the genre or just getting started watching anime in general. We're going to talk about what is Shoujo Anime. Shoujo Anime. We're talking about a certain genre of anime that is usually catered to around young ladies. It's catered around to the slice of life category. Growing up, usually the young ladies are between elementary and high school, and it kind of differently parallels itself from when we think of shonen anime, where it's centered around young boys, teenage boys, young adults growing up, and they're fighting the world, adversity, maintaining truth into their ideals, and dealing with obstacles the best ways possible. So shojo is it's not directly different, but it still has some of those same themes, but it's not really dealing with what we speak of in obstacles of fighting somebody. It's more along the obstacles of love, navigating life, navigating relationships, navigating growing up, what it means to be a young lady in Japanese culture, what it means to be a person who's striving for their ideas and goals in life more than fighting demons, monsters, which Shoujo Anime does have. Now, let's not get it twisted. There are some parallels, and most anime genres can intersect with themselves, depending on what medium you're looking at, depending on what show or manga you're reading. Now, when we talk about shoujo, what is shoujo? What does the word mean? Which means little girl or maiden. When it's translated into English. When we think about shoujo anime, we think about young ladies needing to accept who they are, accept that life is a ever-changing conundrum, and young ladies are needed to grow up in a world where their life is changing, where things are happening. It could be happening extremely fast or extremely slow. It's one of those things where how can we come together as family or within your inner self to balance out the world around you. It's almost the same as looking at a shonen anime, but when you look at a shoujo anime or when you read a shoujo manga, the first thing that always catches me personally is the art style. Right along with the storytelling. When we have the art style and the storytelling, it seems to have a lot of softer features. It seems to have a lot of detail of the face, of body movements, so you can look at the character, and even if the words are not being said, you can see their turmoil that's in their mind, or what they're thinking, or how they're feeling about certain situations. So shoujo anime has a little bit more depth, in my opinion, when it comes to mental aspects and dealing with growing up in society. Now, when we think of shoujo, it kind of ventures off into different other genres like slice of life, shoujo AI, which for most people know shoujo AI is Yuri, or young female love. We have regular shoujo, which you have a boy and girl character falling in love. Shoujo is very popular for the reverse harem anime genre. Instead of a male protagonist having two or more lovers or love interests, it's the actual female character that has two or more characters that find interest in them, and they're trying to navigate around which one they're going to pick, or they're all fiending from, just this one female character. And most of the time when you look at shoujo anime, when it comes to that type of scenario, yes, the character has to choose, but the obstacles that this character goes through, it's not really on a comedic aspect sometimes as when you look at, a manga or anime that has a male character that, they try to make lightheartedness of, his harem, or so to say, like high school DSD, like it gets serious later on, and it kind of does deal with serious themes, but the main character, he's a well-known, pervert, and the ladies that, flock around him all want to have his kids and babies. Well, with shoujo anime, they don't blatantly obviously show most of that. Matter of fact, the male characters are a little bit more, suave, a little bit more slick in the mouth when when they're talking, because they're trying to appeal to the female instead of the male appearing to his harem. The female's trying to, appeal to her harem, and her harem is usually, boys who are taller than her, have softer features. They can switch. They're very gender fluid. They're very lighthearted. You have the bad boy characters, but when we think of bad boy characters in shoujo, we're thinking of characters that have a dark past, or is very mysterious, or may even be extremely mean to our female protagonist, and she has to fight through those barriers to get through to his heart, while he's trying to open up and realize, like, hey, this girl is right for me, it's meant for me, so let's talk about shoujo anime. The story is usually told from the viewpoint of a young girl, and the story will be typically focused on themes that appeal to them. Some of these themes are young love, or more commonly, someone's first love growing up, finding oneself, friendship with boys, friendship with other girls, and the like. Now, most of the time when people think of shoujo, they think of this is just high school life, this is just school life. But remember, you can have action in shoujo. You can have those big dramatic battles. You can have those big dramatic reveals, that takes place outside of school. So, when we think about shoujo, what a lot of people don't realize is that Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon technically is a shoujo anime. It can cross over into shonen. It can balance. It can blur those lines. But when we're following the story along Sailor Moon, it definitely is a true bound shoujo anime, because you have your female characters going through school. They're all young ladies. Now, obviously, they're reincarnated, / some of them just don't die, / they're a couple, thousands of years old. But in the animated manga, if you just include the light novels and stuff like that, you see young ladies. Young ladies who has to navigate through life while also fighting crime. And when I mean crime, I mean, other dimensional beings and stuff like that. But it's all about love. It's all about friendship, the ups and downs, parents, parents dealing with the fact that they have superhero teenage daughters. That's one of those things where you can plug different animes into different genres, but if you really, really wanted to nitpick, like Sailor Moon is technically a shoujo anime. Now, like I said again, they can be heroes, they can be villains, they can be anything that you can almost imagine in a anime. It can be in a shoujo anime, but it's just how the different takes of it is. Like I said, manga has a certain art style. So as you can see here, these along the lines of what's going on here, when you're looking at the art style, like I say, everything's a little bit softer. Everything almost seems to have like this blurry motion to everything, because when you're looking through the eyes of the protagonist, they're not just looking at the character, they're looking at their life passing through their eyes. They're imagining, where will I be with this character? Where would I be with my friends? Where would I be with, my lovers? Where would I be, with my parents? And it's all about growing up and accepting life and accepting change is constant. Change is constant. When you flow through the seasons, because there's almost no type of anime where, like an anime drama, where the flowing of seasons is so tough. They let you know this is first semester, second semester, this is summertime, this is Halloween, this is Christmas. This ain't an add-on or an OVA. This is part of the main storyline, because they want you to see the changing of time, and as these characters grow in or fall out with each other, they want you to see that, hey, time is passing. This character is growing older. This character is, becoming a more acceptable being in society, with all the negativity and the positivities that they have in their life. Now, when we look at, a couple of samples of shoujo anime, we have, let's say Beastmaster. Now, if you're looking for a great manga to read, a great shoujo manga to read, Beastmaster, it's only like 2 volumes. It definitely for beginners. If you're new to, this genre, this is a great manga to pick up. I don't know if they adapted it into an anime. I don't believe that they did, but this is a great manga to pick up. If you really want to just get, freshly into shoujo anime and manga, Beastmasters is a great manga to pick up. So, Card Capture Sakura is the perfect example of what I was just talking about, with the superheroes, and let's say still going through school life. Now, again, Card Capture Sakura, as I said in my other video, is literally, it can blur lines. Like, young boys can watch Card Capture Sakura and be totally fine because of the action and, the monsters, and, it's about the trading cards and stuff like that. But deep down inside, it is a shoujo anime. It is a shoujo manga, because you're following a young lady fighting while also maintaining school relations, friend relations, parent relations, and even has a small little love interest, with another side main protagonist. So, like I said, so these are a list of great shoujo mangas. Now, like I said again, as we see here, Sailor Moon. Like I said, Sailor Moon is, Sailor Moon, when people is like, oh, it's all soft and everything else. I mean, like, yeah, but it is soft. But let's face it, Sailor Moon goes in. She's a beast when she wants to do work. Like, their universe is universal. If you was to do, the power scale, rankings and stuff like that, we're talking about, planet destroyers, galaxy destroyers, solar system destroyers, depending on which manga / light novel you read. If you watch the anime, not so much. Now, like I said, all these great mangas that people can pick up. And honestly, I think if you want to get into shonen anime, I would advise manga first, so you can read and get the depth of it and get, how you feel about it before you watch it on screen. Reading and watching is almost 2 different things. And I think watching can ease you into it, but I think if you want to just get a slap in the face on what it could be, then reading the manga is your first bet. Like I said, you have so many great So many great mangas here. Like, I remember this growing up. Like I said again, it's there's so many great shoujo mangas, and I'm a grown man, but I like anime. I'm not one of those nitpickers where like I'm just gonna take this out of my repertoire because I don't like it. Like, no, I read and watch almost anything if the story is good and catches my eye. Now, I will admit I don't watch a lot of nasty stuff, or things that just is like WTF all the time. But I can get behind a great story. I can get behind a great art style. I can get behind good pacing, and I can get behind good villains, protagonists, even great supporting characters if they bring real fruit to the story. So like I said again, you have a long list of things that you can watch, things that you can read, things that you can dip your foot in. And I want to take the time to tell people that I'm giving y'all this information because these newer generation of people may not know exactly classifications of anime and manga, and which is no fault of their own. We all need to learn, we all need to grow and read and become more. And I want to bring positivity to the anime and manga communities because I know it can be real toxic sometimes, especially when you're trying to explain certain things, or people got their biases and opinions, which is, if you like a certain thing, that is your personal choice. Somebody else does not like something, that is their personal choice. But at the end of the day, we should not be gatekeeping certain things because you don't want your product or your medium to be demolished by newcomers. If you teach newcomers what's going on, what they see, you'll be very surprised at how accepting they are to new mediums and understanding what they're looking at. Now, like I said, Shoujo Anime is great for beginners. It's great for advanced readers, advanced watchers. It's something that, like I said, art style. Look at his art style. Now, I'm not saying that there's not many other art style for the same thing, but like I said, things are a little bit softer. You focus a lot more on the face, the eyes, right here. They pronounce the hair movements and stuff like that, because you technically, if you put yourself in that moment passes between characters, and you want to see every single moment. You want to see every single moment. So like I said, it covers subcategories. It covers, all these things like I just spoke on: Shoujo AI, reverse harems, historical fictions, Yao. I think I pronounced that right. Comment if I pronounced that wrong. But Yao anime or manga is boys love, so growing up, boys love, and all that jazz, fantasies. But yeah, so at the end of the day, pick what works for you. Now, I think the next one I'm going to do will be a surprise, because I have to decide on what, next genre that I want to tackle. But I want everybody to, be well. I want everybody to live and be happy. And I will see y'all next time. Please like and subscribe for more anime content. Peace out, big homies.